Hi everyone, I'm doing my John Maxwell for today. There was an interruption. Sorry, I had somebody coming in. So I'm just going to finish this. I had mentioned that I had gone to the Sting concert. So I enjoyed it. It was really good. And Sting is one of my favorite artists. Unfortunately, I'm having to hear here in the condo that my sister also likes Sting, and everything I do, wherever I go, I always have to hear about my sister. My sister's got nothing to do with me, and actually we don't like it. My sister has her own life, her own interests, and she doesn't like people doing that to me either. My mother made it very clear that she didn't want me at family gatherings, that they invited who they wanted. So that's fine. I'm obviously not considered a good example or a good role model for the next generation coming up in my family. I've taken a very strong stand on what I believe in the activist work I've done with Bono, in going to a university in South Africa that stood against racism, for Wits University. I've organized events here. I've done a lot, and nobody's been there for me when I've been sick, when I've needed somebody to take care of me. I've been told to go to the hospital. So I really don't, I don't really care anymore, because I know I'm a good example. I know that I've set a high standard in the companies I've worked at, and I've done a good job. And that's what we are supposed to do. Here in Canada, I've been nominated for the Canada 150 Award with Michael Levitt, and I was a finalist for that. I've helped to implement and put together HR competency frameworks. I'm always helping in the church. And unfortunately for me, I get treated like how the Africans got treated in Zimbabwe in the Rhodesia years and in the Zimbabwe years before independence. And I never treated people that way. Even the way they run the contact center here. Oh, you've got 2 breaks and you have to take them at this time, and you can't go for more than 3 minutes to the toilet. I mean, really, are we humans or are we animals? Because really and truly, it kills you. And the mental abuse. I mean, people should be treated equally and with respect. And they take it out on me. I told them I'm not taking this anymore. I've told them, even in the family, nobody comes here when I'm sick or when I'm alone. They would rather send me off to a hospital. So it's got nothing to do with my sister, whether I went to a concert or didn't go to a concert. Nobody wants to know, to be honest with you. And trying to build a portfolio or a case for the police is not going to work, because I keep in touch with my sister from time to time when I can, and she keeps in touch with me when she can. So we've lived independent lives. We've lived lives away from each other, and she doesn't invite me because of the way that people go at me, the way that people treat me. They're very horrible to me. So I used to go. I used to even call them and ask them, are you going to be at home this weekend? Can I come? I used to go and visit my sister. So I never had any problems with her. So I don't know what this is about, this nonsense about people going around telling people that, oh, she also likes Sting. We really don't care. I mean, if you want to develop leaders, if you want to live your life, focus on your own life. And even with the church, I've stepped back now because I feel they're too hard on me. I do what I can. Sometimes I'm not able to arrive 15 minutes earlier for the reading. And most of the times, I'm there more than 15 minutes in advance. So it's not about being unfair to the priests. We've also got lives outside, and job hunting is very stressful. Every time I go to the church, they want to ask me about my mother. So now I told them, my mother's not part of my life. I'm here for me. Focus on me and focus on what I am doing in the church. Because whatever I did when my mother asked me to write to Bono and to all these people to ask for help, I did it because yes, she's been helping me and things are hard. But I have worked hard. I have done very well in this country. I've taken any contracts I can get. And if people are going to put me down and tell me I am the problem and it's because of me, you are wrong. You are wrong. Because I have been Employee of the Month many times at Teleperformance, in other places I worked, and it's not my fault if they don't have a job for me. Or if somebody's wife is sick, like at CIBC when I worked for Yasik, and his wife got sick and he said to me after 3 months he didn't like my approach. So all of a sudden you woke up one day and you decided you didn't like my approach. It's ridiculous. I never treated anybody badly, even in Africa, in Zimbabwe. I never treated any of our domestic workers badly. I was always nice to everyone, and I get the most despicable treatment in Canada. It's really horrible the way you get treated. And then they say, oh, it's risk management. So your risk management, you won't even allow somebody to go and say goodbye to their managers or talk to them or ask them to keep them in mind for the next opportunity. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even when I worked at Ivanhoe, Cambridge, I gave my phone number to the managers when I left. They told people there, she gave me a number. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how people get opportunities in this country. Because years down the line or later down the line, somebody might say, oh, you know what, I remember Belinda, there might be an opportunity with a company. To me, it's very rude that they will not even allow you to go back and say goodbye to the managers, talk to them in person, find out like what was the problem, because I was offered a contract today. You told me to go home today and there'll be a contract for me. And then when I got home, the agency called me and said, sorry, there's no more contract. Like, to me, it's very rude that that's what they do. And they don't only do it to me, they do it to thousands of people. And I'm not the only one that's saying that Teleperformance allows people to treat us badly, because you can talk to anybody. You can ask any of the employees that work there or anybody that has left there. They'll tell you it affects you. It affects you mentally if you're on those calls and you're being sworn at and shouted at and you haven't done anything wrong. If there's a hurricane somewhere and they don't get their parcel, they yell at you. I mean, it's just ridiculous what we go through and what I go through in this country. So if you want to develop leaders, if you want to leave a legacy, you have to be willing to push back sometimes. Because at the end of the day, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. Robert Kennedy came to Wits University. He visited in the apartheid years. The church supported apartheid. You think the church didn't support apartheid? It was lucrative for them. They went into the slave trade. They had people to clean their homes and do all that, and you had to be grateful because you could get a bed and some food to eat. So the church is not innocent, and I don't hide it. I don't have to, because I grew up in that apartheid system. So that's the first point for today. You need to be somebody not just gathering followers, but somebody who is developing leaders that can succeed you so that you can leave a legacy. The second point is leaders who gather followers focus on people's strengths. Leaders who gather followers focus on their weaknesses. Leaders develop leaders focusing on their strengths. So it's like with me. If everybody's telling me I am the problem, I can't hold a job, I'm stupid, I'm the one causing problems for the police, and if it's coming from the people in my inner circle, how is that helping me? It's not helping me, because it's not true. I did everything right. I did everything the police wanted me to do, and I don't want any problems with them because I never had any problems with them. I was doing what I was asked to do by the airport authorities, by the banks, by people that I was working for. And then they turn around and say, oh, sorry, there's no evidence. I mean, it's ridiculous what happens in this country. And even now, Globe and Mail is covering the TD scandal and what happened there in the US. You mean to tell me that people didn't know what was happening for 5 years? They all knew. They all knew what was happening, but they wanted to gather other followers, so they didn't say anything. So who benefited? The drug cartels and the criminals benefited. And the board getting their big salaries and their big wages. So when I was speaking up about my individual case, it became about me. They were saying I was the problem. So now they can't say I'm the problem because it's become something that's affecting the whole of Canada and the US. And that affects our economy. So next time, if I speak up as a leader in my community, listen to me. And I used to hear them on the phones. It was the bank sometimes. Oh, if she wants people to listen to her, she has to listen to others. Believe you me, I did a lot of listening. I wouldn't have gotten to where I was if I wasn't a good listener. They are the ones who need to start listening, and they need to start developing the people who are delivering the results like me and giving us the breaks and giving us the opportunities, not the people coming to work drunk and boasting that their father's a diplomat, so they're happy to be in Canada. They're happy because they can do whatever they like here. They don't have that freedom in India. All the women that are in India are happy to leave and come here so that they can have the freedoms that they have in Canada. But then they go around burning the Canadian flag and saying death to Canada. So where's the balance in that? Where's the balance when I'm a top performer and people keep on letting me go? And how am I supposed to get that next opportunity? If you read the scriptures, they're telling us here, you hardly ever see Timothy's weaknesses mentioned when St. Paul is writing about him. And why is that? Because he wanted to focus on his strengths and develop his potential. And that's how the Bible is. You don't find a lot of criticism of people. You don't find them putting people down. You don't find criticism that, oh, you're not good enough, and oh, you are a sinner, and oh, you are like this, and you don't give enough alms. It's always the exact opposite. If you look at what Jesus did, it's the exact opposite of how we get treated, at least how I get treated today. It's the exact opposite. The only time Jesus reprimanded somebody was with Peter, when he said, he rebuked him and told him to get behind him. Other than that, where in the Bible do you see it? It's always a call to unity. It's always a call to friendship, to healing, to helping. And if I say, you know what, I'm not an idiot, I'm not sick, I don't need psychiatric assessments done, I don't need to be forced to take any medication that I don't need. It's not fair to keep me out of the good paid jobs because other people won't tell the truth and accuse me of lying to the police. It's completely unfair. And then the third point, leaders who gather followers focus on the bottom 20%. Leaders who develop leaders focus on the top 20%. So I was in the top 20% at TD, at Teleperformance, and all these companies. They brought me in on those contracts because they knew I could deliver on project execution. So why haven't they called me back? If I'm in the top 20%, and if somebody like me who's gone to university here and South Africa and is able to do well and perform well for you, how come somebody like me is sitting at home and the criminals are getting the jobs, the people that are not doing a good job, the people who are taking their phones onto the floor, the people who are coming drunk to work, how come they're getting the jobs and not me? What is it that's not right here? It's not me. We have to focus on the people, yes, in general, but we have to develop the people who are in the top 20%. And also we have to treat people as individuals. Because yes, we all have the different qualities, we all have different skills, we all have different strengths. I'm not a football player. I don't play tennis. I used to play tennis when I was a lot younger. I don't play now, but I still enjoy it. But we have different skills. We have different things that we are good at. So you can't take somebody like me who has health problems and say, I insist that you work overnight. And if your health goes down, then we can put you on sick leave again. It's about prevention, not cure. And then the fifth point is leaders who gather followers spend their time. Leaders who develop leaders invest their time. So when we are having our mentoring meetings, when I'm meeting with people, when I'm doing this talk, I'm investing my time, because the people that are listening to these talks, new people coming to Canada, migrants, they're going to learn from this. Because when it's about just one individual, then people can say, you are the problem. Now with what happened with Credit Suisse, just like what happens with Lehman Brothers, with Wells Fargo, now with TD, now they can't say, you are the problem. Where's the evidence that I'm the problem? Was I going and giving out gift cards in the US? Was I working with the drug cartels at Credit Suisse? Was I going around murdering people at Credit Suisse? Was I the one taking the investment trades from the banks? It's not fair to call me delusional when I did everything right by the banks and by this country. So when we keep leaders by our side, when we have people that we're mentoring by our side, whether it's that 1 hour meeting or the shadowing that we're giving them when we hire someone, we're investing that time in them. You can spend time, like you can spend time just going around, sitting in the sun, relaxing. That's spending time. You can be with people and just spend the time. But when you are investing time with them, when you are present, when you're helping them to grow, when you're helping people to understand where the pitfalls are, what could happen. I never expected what happened to happen to me when I came to Canada. I was super excited when I came here. I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get a good job. I'll get my Rotman credentials and I'll be able to land a good opportunity. Everything went the exact opposite way for me. All my dreams were broken. When I lost my place, people told me, they warned me, it's going to be very hard for you to buy another property. I said, well, I don't have a choice. What am I going to do? And the same thing keeps happening over and over. I get into a company, I do a good job, I'm their superstar, their rock star, and they let me go. They don't find another opportunity for me, there where I can use my skills and where I can also have a day shift. And they keep other people. It's the same thing. It's been going on for 20 years now. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand why it's always me that has to get hurt. Always. And then the sixth point is leaders who gather followers ask for little commitment. Leaders who develop leaders ask for a great commitment. Leadership requires sacrifice, and sacrifice requires commitment. So I was willing to make the commitment, but others were not willing to have me make that commitment. So it makes no sense to me. I always wanted a permanent job. I wanted stability. I wanted my own place. You can see even for Christmas and Easter and all that, I stay at home. I don't like going to other people's houses. I have my own manners. I have my own standards. I have my own way of doing things. I eat at the table. When people come into my home, I don't accept them sitting at the table and swearing and being rude and talking about their children's ablutions. I wasn't raised that way. And I keep those standards of how I was raised. And if other people don't like it and the church doesn't like it, then those people at the church who like that, they should go and associate with those people and spend Christmases with them and Easters with them and all that because they like it. I don't like it, but if I'm in somebody's home and that's what they're doing, I keep quiet. and then I just don't go back. And I don't care if it's relatives or if it's friends. I don't have to associate with them. If they want to raise their children to be like that, to talk about sex in the workplace at their meetings, or to talk about the color of their children's poop and crap at the table when people are eating, to me, it's disgusting. I just stay away. Because I don't find it acceptable. To me, it's not acceptable. So we have to choose as individuals what standards we want in our homes. It's as simple as that. And even now, Ethel Kennedy's passed away. Robert Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy and herself, when they went to South Africa, Robert Kennedy came to Wits University. Do you think that people loved it? Maybe some people did. But the church benefited from that apartheid, from that slavery. They had all the lands, they had slaves to come in to clean for them, cook for them, and you had to be grateful if you just got a bed and some coffee and tea. The way things are being run now is the way Zimbabwe was run when the IMF came in. That, oh, you have 30 minutes for your meal and you have 2 breaks scheduled. That's how they ran it in Zimbabwe. It wasn't like you could take your breaks when you wanted, or you could take your lunchtime. Yes, we all had lunchtime from 1 to 2. But that's how they ran it. And that's the same way Canada's being run now. And people think I'm joking when I say that this is how it was before Zimbabwe imploded. I'm not joking. They read my posts on LinkedIn and they say, that's funny. It's not funny. I'm talking as somebody who came from a communist country. I'm not joking about what I'm saying is happening and what the banks are doing. I'm not joking. And the church. The church should have spoken up about it. They should have pushed back. And they can't put it all on us as the lay people. They also have to do it. The priests, the bishops, the archbishops, why aren't they doing it? They want a commitment from us. We also want a commitment from them. It works both ways. And then the 7th point is leaders who gather followers impact this generation. Leaders who develop leaders impact future generations. So why do you think people still love Bobby Kennedy or John F. Kennedy? Or why did all these leaders go to Mandela's funeral? It's their countries that did us down. It's their countries that robbed us of all the mineral wealth, that implemented all the apartheid. Some would say it's a hypocrisy, but they know what they did. They have to live with it. Do you think they cared at the time? They didn't care. They were living a high life, traveling first class, having all their fine wines, their fine meats. They didn't have to go to the food bank like me. They didn't have to watch every penny that they spent. They didn't have to be the ones pushing back saying, you shouldn't be making people work till all hours of the night, until some kid commits suicide in the investment banks. Do you think they cared? They didn't care, because their lives were good. They had mansions, they had horses, they went to their country clubs. They enjoyed it. They made their money off their backs and off the children's backs like ours in the apartheid years. You think they cared? They didn't care. They didn't give 2 hoots. So leadership is a legacy that continues. That's why Jesus' legacy continued. Me, I'm not willing. Jesus went willingly to that crucifix. I'm not willing to go. I'm not like Mandela. I'm not willing to say, yeah, I'm willing to spend 27 years in jail. All these people, these Houthis and all that, they'll catch them eventually. Do you think I want to go and sit in the jail and waste my life and rot in prison? I do my human rights activism in a different way. I do it through organizations like the One Campaign. I do it through HRPA. I do it through other things. I'm not willing to go and sit in the jail being accused of lying to the police. For what? Why would I lie to the police? Why would I spend my whole life going to university, educating myself, going to work on camps in America, taking opportunities to go and see concerts like U2 and Sting, and travel, go on a working holiday in the UK? Why would I do all that to lie to the police? For what? What am I going to get out of it? Do you think I'm stupid? So those are the points you have to remember. Sometimes in life there's grave injustice, and that was a grave injustice to me, what was done to me. It's a mark on my record. It's a black mark on my record. Thank God I had a doctor who stood by me. So this is the last point. It takes a good leader to gather a group of followers and lead them to achieve a worthy goal. That's why when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, people were devastated. I wasn't alive, but I watched the footage. I know what happened. And that's why people get upset about what happened to Mandela, what happened to Mugabe. They get upset about it. There were great atrocities, murders even committed during those wars. That's the legacy that they left. It's the legacy that they left. And unfortunately, some of us are going through the same things that we grew up with. Nothing's changed for me. Nothing. With all my education, all my credentials, all my certifications, my secretarial qualifications, what's changed for me? I still can't get a good job. I'm still sitting either unemployed or in minimum wage. When I speak back to them and I tell them that it's wrong, I'm the one that gets pushed back on. So what's changed for me? Nothing. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed for me. That's why I enjoy my life. If I can go see a Sting concert or go walk in the park or do little things that celebrate my life, I do them. Because my goals and my dreams have all been broken. All of them in this country. Because I didn't get the support I should have got. And I stay with the organizations. I stay with HRPA. I stay with the One Campaign. We have a task this week to write to Justin Trudeau for one of our initiatives. So I'll be doing that. I'll be emailing him. If you want to do what I'm doing, and if you want to say, oh, how come she gets to do that? Come and join the One Campaign. Then you can also do it. And you can get the training. But don't sit back and criticize me and call me the problem and accuse me of lying to the police and being a troublemaker and all that when you're not doing the things that I've done. Sponsor your own mother. Then you can talk to me about what I've done. And my life has landed up in poverty. This is not my Canadian dream. This is not my dream. I also want to have a car. I want to own a home. I want to travel. I want to have money in my bank account. My whole life, my whole life is almost over. I'm over 50 now, and what have I got to show for it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And did I do anything wrong? No, I didn't. I did everything right. So that's the injustice of this life. Today's question for reflection is, are you developing followers or leaders? So it's up to you if you want to leave a legacy when you're gone, or if you just want people following you and giving you likes on social media. It's up to you what you want to do. I made my choices. Unfortunately, they didn't result in the things I wanted to result them in. I was so proud of myself when I could buy my own clothes and get my own dinnerware and buy my own books. I'm proud of those things. They might sound like small things to others, but to me, those are the biggest accomplishments. Buying my own pair of shoes. I like doing those things. I hate being at the mercy of others, and when people give you money, they treat you the worst. They talk to you like you're some dog or something. I don't like living like that. I want to have a good paid job and a good salary, because I have earned it in this country. I refuse to let the police tell me I lied to them. I didn't lie to anybody. There's nothing like that.